Okay, let's talk about spread rhythm and what it is. When you're speedrunning Contra, you run into a problem in the base stages, which is that if you just mash the B button, match it as fast as you want, the cores take a while to kill. I just That was not actually very fast of a kill. I was mashing the B button as fast as I could, as you can see from the display there. But it's not really going any faster. And there's a reason behind that. The reason behind that is this. Every time you press B, the game is going to shoot spread in a wave of 5. And the spread gun has a shot limit of 10. So each time you press B, a wave of 5 shots comes out, and then if you press B again, you've got a wave of 10. You've got 2 waves of 5, 10 total. And then no matter how fast you press B, you can't have any more shots on the screen. I'll do it in slow motion. So now I've reached my 10 limit. So if I press B every other frame, so I'm pressing at 30 frames a second, I'm not shooting any faster. So the question is, how do you kill stuff quickly? How do you kill the cores quickly in these base stages if you have spread? And so the answer is you get what's called spread rhythm. So I want to cover what it is. So we've talked about how you're limited to 10 shots on the screen at once, and the reason for that is that the game is programmed in such a way that it can only keep track of 10 shots. It cannot keep track of any additional shots. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to manipulate spread from this big wave of shots that paints the ceiling to a concentrated stream of red death. So the way that we do that, because these cores here can only take 1 damage per frame, so even if 2 of the spread shots overlap, it's only going to take 1 damage per frame. So all those other spread bullets are pretty much just painting the walls, and the walls are already red, so it's really useless. So here's what we're going to do. Watch the screen carefully when I shoot. So when I hit this core, look at the screen right now really carefully. Notice the middle shot. It's a little bit hard to see, but the middle shot has hit the core. And it's hit the core before the other shots have hit the wall. And so what that means is that that shot in the middle is going to disappear faster than those other shots will. So I'll show you again. Maybe I'll get a better shot this time. Alright, and I'm going to shoot again so I have 2 waves going. So I've got 2 waves going. I shot twice, so I've got 2 waves of 5. Now that shot in the middle, I didn't get a good picture of it, but that shot in the middle is going to disappear off the screen before the other shots in the first wave do. So here's what that means. For a single moment, there are going to be 9 shots on the screen instead of 10. And if there's 9 shots on the screen instead of 10, that means I can shoot again. Except this time around, since there were 9 shots on the screen when I shot, this time when I shoot, it's only going to be a single spread bullet instead of that massive wave of 5. So just 1 bullet in this wave. And so if you look, I've now got a stream of 3 instead of I've got 3 waves of spread instead of 2 massive waves of spread. Now here's why we say rhythm. When you get it, so I've got 3 right now. When you get it, you have to keep pressing B rhythmically. I'm going to drop for a quick second, and now I've lost it. And so my fire rate is decreased, and the reason for that is because I had waves going on. I'll show you again. Basically, the game will always let you fire as long as there are fewer than 10 shots on the screen. If you slack off for a little bit, and so when I had 3 waves going on, I had a wave of just 1. And so if I was lazy for even a fraction of a second, that wave of 1 would disappear. And then what I would end up with is just waves of 5. And if I have waves of 5, no matter how fast I mash, it's not really going to help very much. So that's the idea, is that you want to time it in such a way, and this just requires practice, you just kind of have to have muscle memory for it, is that you need to start shooting on the same frame that there are 9 shots on the screen so that you can get a stream going. Now, you're actually not limited to waves of 3. You can get as many waves as you're capable of mashing for. So I'll show you another example of that in a second. But yeah, let's go ahead and do this again. So we are going to shoot once, and then we'll shoot again. Okay, so I've got 2 waves of 5, so I can't shoot again. And then on the frame where I've got 9, I can shoot again. So now I've got 1 bullet. So I'm going to shoot again. Now, if you time it right, if you have the muscle memory for it, there's no reason why you're limited to 3 waves. So I happen to know that on this particular frame, there's going to be, this upcoming frame here, there's going to be 9 again, so that means I can shoot again. So now I've got a wave of 4. And then I've got to maintain it, which is a lot easier when you're using an emulator and doing frame advance. But yeah, so this is 4. And where it gets really easy, and you can see the effect a little bit easier, is this room of the barrels. The barrels are fantastic because they move. So I've got waves, and the barrels kind of move, and then they block the waves of spread, so they make it really easy to get a straight stream. So really what you're doing is you're shooting in the small window of time in which there are less than 10 shots on the screen. Let me back up a second. What you're doing, so you're trying to get your waves of 5, the big waves, you're trying to manipulate it to get smaller waves so that you can get a straight stream of death. And so to do that, you're shooting in the narrow window of time in which the wave of 5 hits something. The reason why we can do this is because the core and the enemies, they're a little bit in front of the wall, and so the shot hits the enemy or hits the core. One shot will hit the enemy or hit the core before the rest of the shots hit the wall, and so that gives us a small window of time where the shot that hit the enemy or the shot that hit the core is going to disappear off the screen faster than those other shots that are going to hit the wall. So that gives us a little window of time to start a little wave of one shot. And if we keep that up, let's state again here. If we keep it up, you can continue matching at that rate. So I'm going to start. I didn't keep it up, but you can kind of see the idea is that for a little bit of time I had a really good rhythm. So I'm going to try and do it again here. So anyway, you get the idea. So what you're trying to do is once you get the rhythm, you're going to keep pushing B at the right rate so that you can maintain this rhythm. So you always want to make sure that you don't lose those waves. If you keep pressing B at the right rate, you're going to keep shooting out waves of 1. If you slack off or don't press it rapidly enough at the right rate, your wave of 1 is going to disappear, and if you don't shoot again to replace it, you're just going to have waves of 5, and that's going to slow you down. If you mess up, you can try and get rhythm in the next room by, of course, shooting, hitting the core, hitting an enemy, and then pressing B on the right frame where that shot that hits the enemy disappears, but the other shots that hit the wall haven't disappeared yet. So you can do pretty crazy things with it. Really, in real time, it's probably going to be difficult to consistently maintain. I mean, waves of 3, 4 are the average. You can probably peak around 5. Higher than that is probably ridiculous, but you can hopefully get the idea here. So I'm going to play a movie of trying to go insanely fast. This is still not perfect, by the way. If it was perfect, you'd have a straight stream of 10, but you'd have to be doing a tool-assisted run to be able to do something crazy like that. But anyway, I hope that makes the spread rhythm a little bit clearer, and let me know if you have any questions.